Today, I have 5 super easy, delicious breakfast items to amp up that morning game. What is up, you guys? My name is Kira if you are new, and in today's video, I have 5 super easy, when I mean super easy, I mean super easy, delicious breakfast items for you to meal prep and just shove in the freezer and pull it out when you're good and ready to go. I know for me, mornings are the most hectic, especially with homeschooling and outside work and inside work and just regular house maintenance. I feel like getting our day off and running is always better when we can get breakfast up and out of the way. And I just hate not having things ready to go. I've shared so many breakfast meal prep videos with you guys, and I'll have my entire meal prep playlist linked down below in case you like this kind of video. But I have shared so many of these with you guys because breakfast is so important to me, especially if I could do it with as little effort as possible. So these are things that do not have to take a whole lot of time. That's why I chose a bunch of easy ones. You guys don't need to prep this all in one day. If you feel like that's the kind of meal prep day you'd like to have, by all means, go ahead and rock it out. But these are all so easy, and they just took a matter of minutes that you could throw this into any of your regular day routines and end up having some extra breakfast in the freezer. So let me take you down to my counter and show you these 5 delicious recipes. So we're starting off today with a super easy breakfast pizza, because who doesn't love a pizza, right? And then throw in all the goodness of breakfast. So you're just going to need a pizza crust. You can use any kind of pizza crust you want. I just use the great value kind because it absolutely serves the purpose and it's cost effective. Now for your sauce, you're going to use ketchup. Now don't be deterred if you still don't like ketchup with your breakfast. You really can't taste the fact that it's ketchup. It more or less just adds a moist factor, and it adds just a tad bit of sweetness. And then here in the plate, we have all of the goodness. This is the toppings. So we have some scrambled eggs here. I have 2 different kinds of cheeses. I have a Monterey Jack and a cheddar. And then I have some ground up cooked breakfast sausage and then some bacon. And we're literally just going to spread out our dough, put a layer of that ketchup on, and then assemble our breakfast toppings and bake it in the oven. This is a super easy recipe, you guys, but it's oh so good. So go ahead and grab yourself a sheet pan. There's no need to spray this. Most of the time, pizza crust doesn't need to be sprayed to put on any kind of sheet pan. And then you're just going to lay your crust out. So that's why I love this great value dough. Like I said, it works out perfect. It is the perfect size for a standard size sheet pan, and it just lets you perfectly mold it into that space. So once you have all of your dough set and ready to go in your pan, just go ahead and, like you see me here, just do a little squiggle of ketchup and just smear it all around so it acts as your tomato sauce. I mean, let's be honest, you guys, tomato sauce is truly not that different from ketchup to begin with. But now, once you're done with that ketchup layer, now we're just going to go ahead and start adding our toppings. So of course, I start off with our eggs. This way it gives a good solid base on the bottom of the pizza. And then I started layering our meats. So I did 1 layer of the ground sausage and then 1 layer of chopped up bacon. And then I came in with the 2 different kinds of cheeses. First with the Monterey Jack, and then next with the cheddar. Once it's done, you guys, 425 degrees in the oven. You're going to follow the instructions that were right on the can, and for 10-15 minutes. Obviously, you know when your pizza is done, when you see that your crust is good and brown and that your cheese has melted and all of your toppings are already cooked through. So all you really want to do is get everything warm and the dough cooked. And look at this, you guys, so delicious, and it freezes so well. So I took all these pieces and I threw it in a gallon size freezer bag and threw it in the freezer, and Jake loved it and he's been eating on it all week. Speaking of something else that I did for Jake, with Jake in mind, was these pancake cupcake muffins. I had seen something similar to it on Pinterest, but I decided to do my own derivative. So I'm just using a Biscuit classic pancake mix to make this. You guys can make your own pancake mix if you want, or if you have a different one that you like. I actually really love the Whataburger pancake mix. I just bought that and made the whole batch for the freezer because we didn't have pancakes. But for right now, I'm just using Biscuit. And then what you need to make their batch of pancakes is 1 cup of milk and 2 eggs. And then I have 1 pound here of Jimmy Dean regular breakfast sausage. So I'm going to start off first by getting that breakfast sausage into a pan because we need that all ground up because that's actually going to go inside of our pancake muffins. Now, the original recipe has you mix the breakfast sausage right into the pancake mix, but I didn't want to do that. So I just went ahead, like I said, and followed the directions on the box: 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 2 cups of the Biscuit mix, and then gave it a good mix. That's it, you guys. So it's very minimal ingredients to make what we're about to make. And so I did grab my 12 cup cupcake pan and I put some liners inside, and I did use my trusty olive oil spray and go back and spray on the inside, even though we had liners, just to make sure that the pancake mix didn't stick to that liner. And then now we're just going to take the pancake mix. I like to use an ice cream scoop. I feel like that really gives me control of the batter. I use that pretty much for everything. And I only filled the cups about halfway. And then I came back with the ground sausage and I made a layer of it. Again, the original recipe had you mixing the sausage on the inside, but I almost wanted like the sausage to be in the middle, the way you would bite into like a Hostess cupcake and there would be cream or filling in the middle. I wanted that to be the sausage instead of it kind of being incorporated all the way through. So once I went ahead and added the sausage to each one, then I just came back with just a little bit of that pancake mix and just made sure to cover all the sausage. This way there was none peeking out. And then I baked them in the oven for 350 degrees and I left them in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. I kept coming back and toothpicking them and making sure that they were cooked all the way through, but they came out fantastic. And I got 2 batches of these with the amount of ground sausage that I had, which I thought was just absolutely amazing. I stuck them in a gallon size freezer bag and stuck them in the freezer as well, just for everyone to pull them out as they want them. We heated them up, we cut them in half and drizzled some maple syrup on top, and they were just so good. So now that I live in Texas, of course, I have to give a little Texas flair. So we're going to do a take on breakfast quesadillas. We were already having quesadillas for Taco Tuesday tonight. So while I was making quesadillas for dinner, I just decided to make quesadillas for breakfast. So this is all that you're going to need. We're going to make some scrambled eggs with heavy cream to get them good and fluffy. I have some tortillas here. We're going to use ham. I'm choosing to make ham, egg, and cheese quesadillas. And then that is the Fiesta blend of cheese that we're going to top it with. So I just went ahead and put tin foil on a cookie sheet and I sprayed it down with my trusty olive oil pan. And then now I'm pouring on 6 eggs that I beat and put heavy cream in. So I choose to do heavy cream for this particular way that I do it because I like them good and fluffy. I like doing them on the pan because I'm able to cut them to the size of what I need it to be. So I threw a regular frying pan, one of my Copper Chefs that I love. They're always linked in my Amazon store below. I threw some butter in the pan, and then once it was hot, I threw in a tortilla, a piece of that egg, 2 slices of ham, and some cheese, and just let the cheese start to get melty. And then I threw another tortilla on top and then flipped it over. Now, because the cheese wasn't completely melty, it sticks to that tortilla shell so it doesn't go anywhere. I think I should have put cheese on both sides. I'll definitely do that for next time so that the ingredients stick to both sides of the quesadilla. But these made so much because you only need 1 good wedge. So once I was finished with them, I was able to portion them into 4s, and then I made 2 quesadillas. So I got 8 big pieces, which is 8 breakfasts really for us, since you're really going to only eat one with some fruit or something, and they heat up perfectly. All these things that I choose to freeze, I just take them out and I wrap them in a moist paper towel and put them in the microwave for 1 minute, and they still come out amazing and fresh. Now here's a recipe, you guys, that is just going to blow your mind about how simple and easy it is, but super delicious. So I have 2 different kinds of canned biscuits here. I had one great value biscuit that I had left on hand from making donuts for my kids for Valentine's Day, and then I got a flaky layer Grand's biscuits in my last grocery haul. Now here in this Tupperware, I just have some bacon that I meal prepped throughout the week, and then I just have some sliced American cheese. Of course, it's got to be boar's head if it's American cheese, that we got from H-E-B. Now you guys, watch how easy it is to assemble these bacon and cheese breakfast bombs. So I started with that flaky layer biscuit, which I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but it ended up working fantastic because they were layers. So I peeled them in half. I broke apart a couple of pieces of bacon. I threw on a half a slice of American cheese, and then I put the layer back on top and formed it together all around. And I just repeated that until all the biscuits were gone. So I did that with both. Now with the smaller ones, those little great value ones, there was nothing to tear apart because they're small as it is. So I used one whole biscuit as the bottom and then put the bacon and cheese in, and then one whole biscuit as the top. But you guys, these are amazing. It is like having a bacon and cheese muffin from like McDonald's, like a drive-through bacon and cheese stuffed muffin, and they freeze. Again, so phenomenal. I threw them all in a freezer bag. My freezer is stuffed with breakfast meal prep right now, which is just amazing because it takes all of the guesswork out of breakfast in the morning. And you guys, how versatile was this recipe? You could do ham, you could do sausage, you can add egg. Just the fact that you just wrap everything in a biscuit and bake it. You guys know me. I am my bread. I am all about that life. All right, so for the last thing, we're going to make some homemade French toast sticks, and we're going to air fry them so that they come out perfect and crispy, just like if you were to get them, again, at a drive-through. I feel like some of the best breakfast comes through a drive-through. Is that just me? I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have to cook it that it's so fantastic. But we have some eggs right here that we're going to use to get our egg batter. And then I have the Nature's Own perfectly crafted thick sliced multigrain. I like the thick sliced bread, especially when I'm making French toast. I have some vanilla back here and some cinnamon. And then I also have some white sugar, some brown sugar, and some milk. And that's all we're going to need. This is probably the most complicated recipe out of all of the ones that we're trying here today. So first, let's get our little egg bath going. I put in 5 eggs and then probably about a half a cup of milk, and then just went ahead and whisked that all together. Once that's thoroughly whisked, we're going to go ahead and add in our additional flavors, which you guys can switch up. I add probably about a tablespoon of vanilla, and then probably about a tablespoon and a half of cinnamon. You guys can use any kind of extract. You can add pumpkin spice, a little bit of nutmeg, whatever works best for you. I originally started cutting the bread in 3 slices, and I realized I could get 4 good slices out of this thick bread, but you're just going to cut your slices of bread in little wedges, and now you're going to go ahead and dunk all of your slices into that egg batter. So I'm just working on a big cutting board because you still need to handle these French toast sticks again with a little topping that we're going to make. So once you go ahead and get all of your bread pieces soaked in your egg batter, then we're going to make something with a half a cup of sugar, a half a cup of brown sugar, and again, probably another good tablespoon of cinnamon. And this is like the crust that ends up baking onto your French toast stick. So give each slice of your bread a little sprinkle, and then use your hands just to kind of push all of those delicious sugary flavors into the French toast, because you don't want it to fall off. It's still really wet from your egg mixture. So if you just give it a little bit of a rub, it's going to kind of work into the bread so that when we air fry them, it's going to bake into that flavor. So here's just my Cosori air fryer. I love this thing. It also operates as a rotisserie. I just love it. It's also linked in my Amazon store, and I just set it on 375 degrees on the air fry for 15 minutes and flip them over, and then I put them in for another 5 minutes after I flipped them. And you guys, they came out so perfect. You can kind of see a dish in the back because my kids were were waiting for them with plates because you can smell it in the whole house. They just absolutely loved them, and I made them in my house. So I thought that was literally so perfect. My kids just love any kind of breakfast food. So when I can make it myself and not have to buy anything, that is always a mom win for me. Again, these got dropped in a giant freezer bag and labeled and put into the freezer with the rest of the breakfast meal prep that I've made over the past week. And you guys, we are set and good for a good month. But now that I've shared all 5 recipes, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. It lets me know that I should keep sharing these kinds of meal prep videos. Again, make sure to check that description box so that you can check out my playlist of all of my other meal prep videos, and my link to my Amazon store is down there as well, where I share all of the goodies that I love to use both in my kitchen and all around my home. If you guys are new here, welcome. I hope you'll subscribe and stick around and join our little YouTube family over here. I love you guys all so much. Comment down below. Let me know your favorite breakfast that I share with you guys today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.